What's going on, football fans? It's your boy Lolo. I'm back on the Stoop in Brooklyn with Mark.
No technical difficulties here.
I'm a little bit,
Yeah, he is.
I don't know. I don't know what I am right now.
I think you're surly.
Well, I mean, I knew going into this match that Arsenal were going to have a little to no chance at winning the game. But for it to end 1-0, that means that we had a chance to tie it up until the last whistle, which is a little frustrating. But I mean, overall, Man City is clearly way better of a team. They're just a fantastic team. Their bench would be starting
exactly. That bench is just silly.
And then but I felt like Arsenal actually had a chance. We made a stupid mistake 5 minutes into the match, and then played fairly well. You know what? I'm gonna need some help on this.
I think so.
Let's see if we can bring in Matt Cantac. We can bring in Matt Cantac.
Technology, I tell you.
The magic
Welcome.
of Cantacnology.
Cantacnology, I like it.
Never heard that before. I love it.
Never thought that before.
It's great because I'm technologically illiterate as well.
Hey man, you and me both.
Well, that was boring.
It was,
that was a pillow fight, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We just want to get right into it. That's the lineup we should put out in the Carabao Cup, not against Man City. And I was afraid of that.
We're speapeace here. We just don't even know what to say about this match.
Like who are you talking about there? You're talking about El Nene. You're talking about
Pepe.
Odegaard?
No, Pepe. More Pepe. Pablo Mari. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't gotten a match in forever. Not that I don't think he's quality. He just hasn't played in forever. So you're gonna go let him get his legs against City? You know what I'm saying? They're setting him up for failure. No one's gonna look good in that game. So for that to be the game where you give guys a shot as I don't know, maybe that's sending a message to those guys go get it or you're gone.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you were saying we better not see David Luiz, right?
Yeah.
Lawler was saying better not see David Luiz. Mm-hmm. I was actually thinking David Luiz is the better choice for this match because
this is a David Luiz match. Absolutely.
And I guarantee you, David Luiz, that header, that first goal doesn't have it with David Luiz in the box. David Luiz will knock him over before.
Then it's a goal anyway.
Not necessarily.
You know what I'm saying? He's giving up a penalty. He's doing something like that. Rob Holding played fantastic after that. Though.
After that, Rob Holding
played fantastic. There was nothing. There was no one in our midfield that was linking the defense to the offense. Mm-hmm. And it just until Pablo Mari started in the 70th minute, and it was just far too late. I don't know how we can just get pressed off the ball so well for 90 minutes. And in this playing the ball from the hard box on the ground against teams like Man City, against a Guardiola team that is notorious for winning the ball high on the pitch and scoring that way. It's almost like Leno would play the ball. There would be 4 lateral passes, and City would want it back before they reached the half line. Midfield.
Every single goal kick, there were 5 Man City attackers. 5 Man City midfielders and attackers, all right there. Zero worry about us getting the ball out, getting a long pass out there. And that's one that I'm thinking David Luiz once again. And as soon as David Luiz came in the game, boom, he was trying to pick out long passes.
But why doesn't Leno just do that off the 6-yard line? You know what I'm saying? David Luiz doesn't need to be there just for goal kicks. I just don't. I don't know. We sucked. It sucked. It was painful to watch.
We did
play well defensively. We played well defensively, considering
Mr. Tom.
We had nothing going on.
Is that true? I mean, I'm taking Mr. Tom usually doesn't
lie.
In
2021, not just the season.
In 2021.
Yeah,
okay.
not the whole season. That was like that's some
right?
crazy accounting you got going on
see
there.
that he's
but it is for the year.
He's got those funny numbers.
He's got them funny numbers for sure. But
you call cooking the books there.
Yeah, I just didn't understand the lineup, and I'm not like a huge Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
I wanted to see David Luiz in there because, as we said, that's the type of game that he, you want him in there for that. I loved in the second half, as much as it was kind of a shitty, dirty kind of play. But when I don't know who it was against, but he's sizing up the ManCity player and just throws his shoulder into his chest. Yeah. That's the kind of aggression, and it's like, hey man, we're here.
João Cancelo.
Was it Cancelo?
No, to Ruben Diaz.
I think it was to Ruben Diaz. Maybe
it was, who is their number one player.
Maybe it was payback for all the rough stuff that he had on Aubameyang. Or no, that was Stones.
It was, I get why, as a neutral fan, you want to see David Luiz out there.
It's like why you want to watch it, right?
But like as an Arsenal fan, I'm like, nope.
Exciting thing.
Right.
I used to love this guy. Like I used to be
Me too,
a really big David Luiz fan until he came to Arsenal. I was like, oh God, now I get why everyone has been saying for the last 10 years. It's just even amplified now because he doesn't quite have the same pace anymore. But
right.
Yeah, and I don't get, like, what are we doing? Why are we making the substitution, Nick? We were talking earlier, like, why are we taking El Neni off with 5 minutes to go? Like, why is that when you're putting Ceballos on? I don't understand.
No, I was saying look, we gave up the goal, the goal within 5 minutes, and I'm thinking, actually,
see ya. El Neni gone.
Yeah, for that, first of all, we don't need El Neni anymore. Mm-hmm. There's no reason to hold off. But I'm also thinking this is almost for the best. We still have a full 90 minutes to attack, as opposed to what I was afraid of, us coming back and defending. We didn't do either in the first 2 minutes, which is why we went down. But I was thinking, okay, now we have to attack. Now we have to play forward. Now we can't just live with back passes and lateral passes. But it seemed like they didn't understand that until like 35 minutes into the match, and then they started playing.
I think I counted at one time El Neni made 6 lateral passes in a row, like to Tierney and to Pablo Mari, like just in around like the 60th minute or so. It was just boop, 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 and no one even turned to play the ball forward. And I thought the same thing, like after the goal went in, I was like, okay, whatever, like fresh start. We still have all this time to get that point back and go forward. And then I looked back at the lineup and realized we don't really have the players to do that anyway at the moment. Like our front three were just starved of the ball because there was no consistent possession in midfield. It was either we won the ball in midfield and we pass it straight back to the defense, and try to work the ball forward with these short passes, or we lost the ball immediately in the midfield and gave it right back to him. Like we very rarely got the ball in the midfield and went forward, which is just like, I don't get when you're playing against Pep like this. We seem to always play this way against Pep, no matter who the manager is. Even going back to Wenger, we were doing this, and it just none of it made sense because they press the ball so well. As soon as they lose it, there's 3 guys on the guy. I don't understand why we can't do it too.
Yeah, I thought City didn't particularly play well. I thought they were there for the taking. That's why I feel so confused right now because, going into this, my head knows we're gonna lose this match. Like this isn't a match we win. But if we can nick a point from it, then fantastic. And once you're tied up, all it takes is a little bit of magic. That El Neni shot was almost like.
What was that? God. What was that? Like, I mean, that was João
weird.
Cancelo and Ederson. Like, please make it interesting for us. He's like, this is boring for us. And when you say that you don't think City played all that well, like I agree to you in the extent that they didn't finish well. They didn't play well in the final third. But I thought in the midfield and in defense, like we had no shot. Well, and it was really just kind of down to like lazy finishing. On their part, I think
City not playing well is still better than
the Wolves playing great.
90% of their team. I mean, just look at their bench.
Their bench is better on our starting 11.
I want to see who didn't make the bench, because they're probably still good enough to be on most Premier League teams. But Pep, he's got a damn good. They're a team. They play like a team. They play.
Well, it's also, you don't hear, there's guys that don't get a shot until someone's injured, right? Like Gundogan hasn't really gotten the shot until De Bruyne was out for 5 weeks, and Aguero's been out, so just Sterling steps in, or Mahrez, or whoever, and you don't ever hear anything on a Pep team about players getting upset with lack of playing time. Like I almost feel like right now Pepe is becoming frustrated with the amount of playing time he's getting, even though maybe he doesn't necessarily overall deserve it. So there's not like when he comes on, his frustration shows immediately. Whereas when you come into the Man City team, you're like itching to keep your spot. Like Pepe could have made a statement today, and quite frankly, he scuffed the shot in the first half that he probably should have. Not probably, he definitely should have put on target. If he just takes one step, he's got two defenders flying past him, and he just takes one extra step or touch and shot on goal. And this is the problem with him on the bench for the rest of every competition, and just we don't have that. The City's got so much quality that you would think someone would get frustrated eventually, but they don't. They just come on and take their moment.
No, everyone for City just hoping to get enough playing time to get a trophy when the trophy come out. That's all they're like. I don't care. What do I need? 47 minutes of total playing time. Like, let me make sure I get it.
Go.
Mr. Tom says Arsenal have failed to score against Man City in their last 4 Premier League games at home. The only time they have failed to score against an opponent in 4 home league games. That doesn't surprise me at all, because this year I think we have we're like bottom 6 in goals scored. We can look it up right here, but like
it's amazing we're still in the top 10 then.
That's me just guessing. Let me see. So Arsenal have a total of 31 goals for. Wolves have 26. Tied with Southampton. Okay, so okay, we're not as bad. Oh, I think because we scored 4 last week, it gave us.
For Arsenal have
a bit of a mirage
season, despite all your talent.
Goals. We have not been able to do anything.
No, it's either a string of like 3 or 4 goals, 3 games in a row, and then we go dry. And then, like it started with Chelsea, that 3-1 win, and then it was like multi-goal games for a minute, and then dry, and then multi-goal game, and then dry. I don't even know we have to talk about like Arsenal were so bad today. You know what I'm saying? We might as well just talk about how good City were.
We weren't.
They were awful.
They were just that much better.
No, they were awful. I think, yes, they were that much better, but Arsenal had nothing going forward, and you have to have something going forward against City. We're not going to sit back and hit them on a counter. It's just not happening, right? So just atrocious in maintaining possession and building anything from the back. They were like, we defended well, but like I kind of just said, like I think that's more down to like City being overly confident in the final third with their finishing. To me, they didn't look.
Yeah.
Ruthless. Someone said during the broadcast, like that 100-point year or 2 seasons ago when they won, that game would have been 5-0, without a doubt. Like Aguero would have had a hat trick.
Definitely.
So it's hard for me to say Arsenal looked good. Like they looked
I didn't say they looked good.
It just didn't look bad.
They didn't look
outside
awful like
and take off the first 5-7 minutes. Arsenal played pretty well. They just didn't put the ball in the net.
But it's hard to say that though, because City is different.
The closest they came was when Cancelo, for whatever reason, decides to shoot a ball to the moon back to Ederson, who then tries to volley it, slices it. Now Nene takes one touch first time off the bounce, and you're like, all 3 of you are idiots. Like, what the hell is going on? Nobody made sense on that in that little segment of play. Like that was the best shot we had in the second half.
So let me ask you. I think you may have already said this, but let's look at what ifs and what would you have done. Give me one player you would have started instead of somebody who actually did start? And you can't pick El Nene because
Okay.
you already picked him.
Then I would have started Emil Smith Rowe instead of Pepe. But again, like that's Emil Smith Rowe isn't making the difference in this game because he can't get the ball. So like I would have to pick. Maybe Cedric Suarez over Bellerin, but I don't think Bellerin played all because you won't let me pick El Nene. I would 100% pick Danny Ceballos, and it's for El Nene because it's the clear shot. Like we had nothing creative in midfield. Like Xhaka I thought played well, but he and El Nene were essentially playing the same position.
Yeah, that was my issue as well with Xhaka. Was he did play a very good game, but why are they both there?
Xhaka's not like he's great to ping one diagonally long when he sees an opening, but playing like a really crisp ball on the ground, cutting through the other team's midfield, I think he struggles and he loses the ball. There was just no service to Odegaard to make anything happen, to Saka to make anything happen. So changing those guys out doesn't make I don't see tactically how it would make a difference. The one big tackle change for me is taking El Neni out obviously Partey would have started if he was healthy. I don't think Ceballos to me kind of looks like a chicken with his head cut off at times, but he's still more forward thinking at least than El Neni.
Yeah.
Since I can't do that, I'm doing Cedric Suarez for Bellerin.
What's up, Mike Pickles? He says, what's happened to Martinelli? I don't know. He was on the bench. But I think if I were to start somebody different, I would have looked to play two forward strikers because Ederson is a cock and he's prone to mistakes because he tries to be so good, because he is very good with his feet. But you saw he made a couple mistakes that if we were there hounding him, we could have maybe gotten something from. I think Aubameyang's even gotten a goal off of him that way, or Martinelli even. But so I would have played Lacazette or Martinelli started up front with Aubameyang and just have more of a forward threat, because right now we're losing the midfield because we just
don't have the quality there.
We don't have anything, and we didn't have anything going forward really. Aubameyang was back playing defense. I don't know. Like I was hoping that at halftime
there would be a big change.
Arteta would have been like, okay, I know Pep. He's not expecting this. Off comes El Nene, on comes Lacazette. And it's like, wait, what? Then where's Pepe going? Oh, Pepe's right here. Oh, well, actually, Lacazette is playing in an attacking midfield role, a false nine or something. Who knows? I wanted to see him go for it. Change it up. Do something.
Yeah. I agree. I was expecting a big change at halftime too, and I was expecting it to be El Nene.
Or something like that to change.
Yeah. And to answer the question about what happened to Martinelli, like he hasn't made a difference since that goal against Chelsea. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gotten some games. He hasn't gotten any like consistent run out there, but the games he has got, he's been subbed off because he's been ineffective.
Right.
And he's made of glass. And he's always in danger.
Yeah, he's just always an injury risk as well.
Right now.
Yeah,
it's a healthy scratch.
He was on the bench. He could have come on. I think Aubameyang was wasted on the left. He wasn't wasted on the left because if he can get into a little bit of space there, he is deadly from there. He loves coming into the box from that top left side and curling one in there. But
he's he plays it like Iron Robin without half the quality,
But I agree, Pepe was a non-factor. Pepe did not matter. And I'm always mad with Pepe because he is so quick, he is so fast, and he just doesn't utilize it. I think he tries.
Does
I don't know. He wants to get the ball and then go, as opposed to like pull the defenders, pull the left back and the center back, pull them because you're making these darting runs. Make them fear your speed, so they have to be a bit tighter on you, or they have to give you a little bit of space.
Right.
But Pepe only tries to beat people when he has the ball, is what I feel. Do you agree?
I agree. I don't think Pepe really moves well without the ball. He sort of just occupies a space until the ball comes in, like you were saying, comes to him, and then he tries to take on two guys. And
he's dribbling.
I mean, I guess that looks great in that Farmers League in France that he came from, but there's just so much more quality in England. If you're not making the runs off the ball to open up space for other players, those players are probably going to be less likely to give you the ball if you're just standing around. I mean, he's shown more effort in terms of being physical and tracking back, which is good, but he's still very one-dimensional for me. He just it seems like teams with quality and defense have a pretty easy time marking him right out of the game. You know. And it's like Mr. Tom saying, like, against teams like Leeds, no offense, guys, or Newcastle or whoever, teams that we should be beating, like, he looks fine, but we're not going to win the league with him as our like attacking player on the right wing.
I was hoping that he was gaining some confidence from the goals that he has scored in recently.
And I think he was, but then you play a team like ManCity, and you've got Odegaard and Saka and Aubameyang who do a really good job of like running through lanes and taking defenders with them, or looking to play the pass through a seam, a through ball, and then Pepe on the other side, who doesn't do any of that, and just sort of all he wants to do is cut on his left and curl one in. I just don't think he fits in that attacking scheme. I mean, I guess you want to give guys a rest and you want to let him get a little bit of a run out there, but yeah, I saw him on the team sheet, and I was like, all right, we've already conceded the game. That's how I felt.
Yeah, I was surprised at that. I was very, very surprised at that. And I would love to know what Arteta's thinking on that was, because you would think playing Pepe and Aubameyang would be more of an attack-minded, like, go at him. We've got speedy wingers now.
Yeah.
But it didn't seem like they were playing that way. So.
I mean, I think Arteta is focusing on the Europa League. I think he sees it as his only shot to play in Europe next year, and I think we desperately need to be playing in Europe next year.
So who was he saving? Who's he saving? Ceballos?
Ceballos, I guess.
David Luiz?
I guess so. I mean,
Lacazette?
No,
Martinelli?
Emile Smith-Rowe, he's just like, I mean, listen, he made 5 changes the last time he did that. We really bemoaned him doing that because, right, like, we felt like he was giving up on the competition that he did that in, right? That was the Southampton loss.
Yeah.
So it kind of seems like that's what he's doing. And it's tough because, like, all the teams around us dropped points today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This was the day where I was like, oh, we have to be playing City this weekend.
Yeah.
We couldn't have gotten like a couple points off of Burnley if we could even manage to do that. And then just jumped up for a little bit of a confidence booster. But no, it's like we played Thursday because we're in Europa and not in Champions League. So we're not nearly as fresh as if we had played on Tuesday because we're in the Champions League and it was against City. So it's just like I feel like it's always with Arsenal from like February to March, it fucking rains and it pours, and it's just always been like our toughest stretch, it seems, in the last 10 years. That's it. We got to get better, and we're not going to do that with guys on our team like that ones that we've been bitching about for the last fucking 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, like, I'm running out of things to say about Arsenal at the moment that is not just being like hitting a repeat button.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we can say that it is sort of pleasant to not be talking about the referees and VAR today because I thought it was
Yeah.
fine. I think
Yeah.
towards the end, City was falling down for fucking everything. Talk about time wasting with the Wolves against Leeds. This was like, dude, you're fucking Man City. Like, get off the ground and go score another goal. Like, you can do that. You know,
case in point, everybody does it.
Yeah, I think it just
Everybody
adds
does
another
it.
like overly confident City or just toying with us, to be honest. You know, like it's a 2 years ago it would have been three or four goals against us, and for whatever reason they were merciful.
Yeah, I mean, there was a moment when somebody for Arsenal fell to the ground, and City took the ball, and they sort of slowed down and looked at the ref like, look at this guy, and the ref guy goes like, who cares? And Gundogan had the ball, and he was like, so they just kind of passed it once or twice, and they're all stopped, and Arsenal's still like
trying to sort themselves out.
And the ref was like, I'm not going to call it. And whoever it was stood up and started standing up and limping around. And he's like, play on. So City was like, okay. I was like, this looks like a Sunday league of like, nobody's trying to get hurt here, fellas. This is just an exhibition.
Yeah, it was all like they were playing like they had jobs to go to tomorrow, you know, and they didn't want to be hurt.
I was like, oh, that's very nice of them. How sweet.
Yeah.
Ethics of these guys.
Yeah, they said it on the broadcast. It had the feel of like a testimonial match a bit in the second half of just like passing the ball around the back. Like Arsenal kind of played like they had the 1-goal lead for the last 30 minutes of the game.
Yeah. We were protecting protecting our no points.
Protecting your goal differential.
Yeah, like if we pass the ball
we
around,
don't want to give up too many goals.
They can't score more if we just keep possession in our defensive third. You know, which is just like a really puzzling way to win a game. You know?
I don't.
Yeah, we weren't even pressing them in the midfield to win the ball back to start a counterattack. We were sitting deep, but then we weren't pressing their midfielders once they had the ball. We were just sort of sat back deeper.
I've also seen that they could take the ball away at will. You know, today that was something that I've seen that I haven't seen from Arsenal in a while. They've been their passes have been much more deliberate, and today it just wasn't. It wasn't there. You know, I mean, Nick was like, you know, this is one we can take. You know, we can get them. You know, and man, Arsenal just didn't want it.
I do want to go on the record as saying I thought that was insane when he said that.
I think we all did.
Well, yeah, but it was him and Lawler who were both saying, "Oh man, I don't know, I think we nicked this one," and I was like, "You're out of your minds." But I also didn't think we'd be so like passive about it.
Yeah.
I thought we would get beat going for it, and we got beat not.
Told you that's what I wanted.
I would have loved to have seen them gone for it, but they didn't. They did not go for it.
So here's something. We were upstairs watching this with my wife and my daughter having lunch, and my wife is asking my daughter, you know, which team are you going for? Which team are you going for? The guys in red or the guys in white? And so both my wife and my daughter are cheering for Man City at this point without a dog in the race. But my wife brought up a good point. She said, why does it say visit Rwanda everywhere? And I was like, well, they're a sponsor. The country of Rwanda, like the tourism board is the sponsor. And she goes, yeah, they should get a different one for this year, though. Because, like, who's visiting Rwanda? Like, nobody's visiting anywhere. Nobody can go anywhere.
Maybe it should read visitrwanda.com.
Visitrwanda.com. Yeah, visit Rwanda on Zoom. But, like, no offense to Rwanda. Yes, go visit Rwanda when it's safe. But, like, I feel like we're just taking their money right now. Like, this year, out of the kindness of Arsenal's heart, we should say, like, you guys want to promote something else? Do you have, like, a movie or something you're doing? Like, do you have a YouTube channel maybe we can promote? Like, do not visit Rwanda right now. I mean, I don't know their particular COVID situation, but I think this is a global thing.
I feel like we've reached the moment in this show that was much like in the game today. I don't know, in the last third where the announcers just spent time talking about Man City's jerseys
Yeah,
and the paisleys and how it
was
reminded them of British music in the 90s. You know, because the game had just crawled down to nearly just a trickle, and they were like, "What are we talking about? We got nothing. I like the jersey. I hate the jerseys."
Yeah, and he's like, "What did he say?" He's like, "I don't think they're selling out of these in the gift shop this season." He's like, "Are they? Are people like? Would you buy?"
There's no one in the gift shop anyway.
Exactly. I think they're rather ugly myself.
I want to say, for the record, I think those kits are fire.
I think they're cool.
But then they were also getting to like, in the broadcast, are like, "Oh, you know what I'm going to say about that?" And the other guy's like, "Yep." And then they never elaborated.
Meanwhile, the audience watching is just like, "Well, what? What are you trying to say?"
Exactly. I was like, "What? Oh, we don't know you guys like that. What are you going to say?"
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Rwanda should throw up like visit the Emirates everywhere just in exchange, maybe. Just like Arsenal need the money too.
Yeah.
Hugo's here to say hi, but actually,
hey Hugo, what's going on?
Probably mainly telling me that he's hungry, even though he hasn't eaten his lunch. He's just sitting there. So is that accurate?
Yeah.
He's got same energy as Arsenal going forward.
Yeah, Pepe. Yeah, he looks like Pepe back there hiding. Yeah. So moving on from that. All right, let's look ahead and see who Arsenal have
Moving on
next.
from the Rwanda segment.
Well, I mean, that so far has been my favorite segment. So
the only entertaining thing for me.
Yeah, the only entertaining thing. Mark and I are here battling the tree shadows.
The sun
moving.
Yeah, we're either hardcore in the sun or in the shadow. My computer's freaking out. But yeah, so let's see. Who would be your man of the match for the match? Because it's hard
overall,
to even say on City
or
like,
Arsenal.
Everybody.
Everybody?
Man of the match.
Man of the match?
Mahrez, maybe?
Oh, good. John Stones.
Cancelo?
Cancelo was everywhere.
Cancelo, Diaz, Stones,
Sterling.
anyone.
I mean, Sterling made the difference.
Aguero.
Gunnersaurus.
Yeah, anybody.
For me, like if you're asking me, I would say the guy who scored the only goal. I mean, but he really like didn't do much for the rest of the game. It would.
Yeah, that's why I would say Mahrez. Mahrez beat Tierney, got a cross in. He played some decent things. Every time I say Mahrez's name, I think back to that brief moment in time when we were linked with him, and then it was like, oh no, he got an offer from City. There's no way he's going to Arsenal.
It's crazy. No one ever leaves City either, right?
But I thought he was going to leave the next season because he got little to no playing time. He came off the bench, and I was like, how do you go from winning the league and being the number 2 striker in the league pretty much that season to being a bench player?
I think it just goes to the point I was trying to make earlier that like once you're at City, even if you're not getting a lot of playing time, you still stay because winning is
everything.
Addictive. Yeah, like it's easier to stay when you're winning, I guess, you know.
He got another championship medal or whatever they give you. Your Premier League medal. Okay, so let's look ahead to Arsenal play next. I think we play Leicester. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Huh?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like February to March is so hard. We always just get like on the back end of the season, we get 5 games in a row, 5 matches in a row, and we stumble. You know, we're always in a position where we need to get all 15 points, and we got 9, and or however that math works. And it's just the hardest part of the season. So it doesn't, Liverpool are down, but this is like a great slump buster for them, to be honest. You know, they get to come in and kick our ass and then, make another run for a Champions League spot.
Oh my God, we play Leicester next Sunday at 7 a.m.
Leicester went to Liverpool for some reason. And then we have Liverpool coming up, right? Not too far after that.
Not too far after that, yeah.
The trap game you need.
Well, see, I feel like we can take Liverpool.
Well, I mean, I don't.
I feel like
playing like
anybody-
that.
I think
like
Liverpool
anybody can
thinks
take
that they could
Liverpool.
take, that anybody can take them right now. They're
Yeah.
playing so poorly, and it's really not poor play. It's just they are broken.
Yeah.
I felt so, and I was saying yesterday when Jordan Henderson went down, I felt bad for Liverpool
Yeah.
a little bit. A little bit. Come on,
I don't really feel bad for them. Rashford scored for Man United already, 30th minute. Thank you, Mr. Tom, for letting us know the more interesting things that are going on out in the world.
playing that mighty Newcastle team.
Yeah, so it was a very, very depressing episode here that we're doing right now.
Yep.
But what are your hopes for Leicester? Like, I think Leicester, they're going to wipe the floor with us.
Yeah.
They're not going to take it easy on us the way Man City did.
Nope. I mean, you only hope that Madison's out. You don't hope that he's injured, but you just hope that their best players aren't playing, and take it from there.
And that's
Yeah,
still
man,
Vardy.
There's a lot of players
I
that have
know.
stepped up in Vardy's kind of quasi-absence.
He played a full game.
Madison has been
Madison, Albright, and Barnes.
amazing. Barnes has been amazing.
Yeah,
I just hope it's a little more entertaining than what we saw this afternoon, because that match was boring.
I think to Nick's point, that they won't take it as easy on us. It will be more entertaining.
Was the first match just as boring this season? Did we complain about how boring that match was?
I don't remember it at all.
It was
but
very boring.
You guys had mentioned the other day that it was.
Yeah.
I think the most memorable thing we talked about was the hand on the female referee by Aguero. I think that was our biggest point last game, and now we're still at a loss for words because this game just didn't have. Yes, absolutely.
We just didn't go for it. We didn't go for it at any point. I don't get.
And that's what I was saying. Losing 5-2 is way better than losing 1-0, and it's the same shit. And that's just what I didn't want.
Yeah, and it doesn't give you any confidence going into the next game. Right? The last couple of games we came out, the last couple of matches, like we've been saying, even if we lose, we're coming out on fire. And I guess City just came out on fire today. Scored immediately, put us on our heels. But I still feel like even if they didn't score in the second minute, the game would have been this for some reason. Like City probably would have been more active in the last half hour, going for the goal to get the points. But I feel like we would have played pretty similarly for some reason.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at the difference between the first 5 minutes, and yes, we gave up a goal in the first 2 minutes. So let's say the first 1 minute, the first minute of the Leeds United match, even when we didn't have the ball, we were flying around.
We were pressing them the way City pressed us.
So I think we proved that we can do that. And yes, it may not. It's not going to work as well against Man City, but we might freak them out because we did something else. See, Mike Pickles, Leeds did that against City in the first half. The second half they did their usual. So they changed gears in the second half and said fuck it and went for it, and they drew with City. I feel like I was waiting for that. I was like, okay, we're going to turn it on. We're going to say, okay. And I was waiting for the substitutions that just never, they came too late. And then you do two at a time.
And bringing Lacazette on doesn't matter because we're not playing the ball to the forwards anyway. The El Neni one, I know we're beating a fucking horse here, a dead one. One that's been dead, that's been fermenting for a week in the sun. But it doesn't matter if you change Aubameyang for Lacazette or Odegaard or Pepe if you can't get the ball to that part of the field anyway. And we're not even playing long balls to that part of the field for the most part. And when we do, they just bounce out of bounds. It's like fine. We'll pick on Granit Xhaka, even though he played better than El Neni. Take him out. You really only have the one option in midfield, it seems like, anyway. Bringing Ceballos on.
Well, that's why I'm like, screw it. They're winning the midfield. Then fuck it. Let's get rid of the midfield. Put some attackers on.
Yeah,
Fuck
no,
it.
but like we're not getting them the ball to the attackers
Or,
anyway.
you know what?
Yeah.
Kieran Tierney's not doing so well attacking because he's doing so much work on Mahrez. And so put another defender on it and let Tierney fly forward a little bit. Give Tierney a little bit more. I don't know. Do something fucking creative. Right now, it's like every coach has our book because it's like, oh, when this happens, they're going to do this. Oh, when this happens, they're going to do this. And so change it up. Do something weird.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Was it just me, or did Tierney just look uncomfortable out there?
He did not look himself.
He did not look himself, and I think maybe they're rushing him back. I don't really know, but he looked really uncomfortable.
He did, but that'll happen when you are the guy who sort of gives up the ball that's the assist in the second minute. Like at that point, Mahrez has him, and he was like, "Yeah, if you slip up again, we're scoring another goal." So, but also he just looked not match fit. Like he hadn't touched a ball in a while. His crossing, terrible.
That's what I'm talking about. His crosses were off.
He couldn't beat the guy who was marking him going forward. But then again, that's it. That's plain City. Like, yeah, you can look great against Newcastle and Southampton and Leeds, or and you didn't even play against Leeds, but you can look good against those teams. And is it maybe a bit of a mirage, or a false dawn? And then you play City, and you're like, oh, here's the market correction we've all been waiting for.
Yeah, but look,
Doge's down to 5 cents again. The world is right.
But look, we weren't going to beat City anyways. Like we weren't.
Not with that. Not the way we played.
So I don't feel like it's a market
correction.
It's a market correction in the sense that, like, let's stop saying we're going to give Kieran Tierney the captain's armband, or that he's like our motor that gets this team going. Like, you see it. He's not the difference against a team like City. Maybe if he'd been fit the entire time, and we put like a more positive, if we put like a more positive team out there, but like when you have players of the quality of El Neni, I know, and Pepe out there, Tierney's not going to be the difference maker. He can be a difference maker, and he can add to that when you have a much more positive and forward-thinking team on the field. But if really we're looking for our offensive spark to come from our left back against Man City, we lost the game in the dressing room. We lost it on the whiteboard or whatever. So if his crosses were better, they would have been better, but it didn't look like we were getting anybody in the box to get on the end of it.
Once again, I think crosses into the box for Arsenal are stupid anyway. I don't think that's not our game. There's never anyone in there.
But that effectively takes Tierney out. Like, it takes his offensive presence out of the game anyway, if we're not going to have him crossing the ball. And like, he's only going to cut back and score from just inside the 18 a couple times a season, maybe in his career.
We
couldn't we couldn't even keep possession to like link up on the edge of their 18 anyway. To play our little tricky like through balls and
I'm saying
that.
slotting someone in is more of our style than crosses.
Right.
But like I felt like there was a clear chance. I remember Saka got the ball, passed it back. Tierney put in a cross, and it was like behind Aubameyang. When it had just gone across the face of goal, Aubameyang was there.
Aubameyang put one in for Saka, but it's like that's it.
Yeah,
that's all three. Yeah, you don't even need your right hand to count them all. Like that's how paltry it was today. It was just thin and not inspiring at all.
Well, shit. All right, man.
Shit is right.
Well, that's all we got to say about this. I think we're about done today.
It's getting a bit redundant here.
Eating a dead horse.
That's fermenting in the sun.
That's fermenting in the sun. So we'll be back.
Delicacy somewhere though.
We'll be back next week. Thursday we'll be doing our weekend watch list, and I don't know if Arsenal will be on there. Well, they're playing Leicester, so that
probably could be in there.
That could be a fun one.
Yeah, for all your Leicester fans.
Yeah, I guess. So anybody watching, make sure to go to our Twitter and our Facebook and put in what match should be on our weekend watch list.
Yeah.
And we know Leeds is going to be on there, so let's be a little more creative.
Well, not if they don't pick it.
our fan base is going to pick Leeds.
We'll see.
You know, hit that like and
yeah,
subscribe,
don't forget to hit
please.
the like button before you guys leave, even if it's only 7 of us hanging out together talking fucking nonsense about Arsenal. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, Cantac, for calling me and all your insight. Thanks for
Peace,
wasting
everybody.
a subway trip, Mark.
It was worth it.
All right.
All right,
Peace
guys.
from Brooklyn, y'all.
Cheers.